Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to the general session of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners for October 18th, 2016. We'll begin this morning's meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Brooks.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, October is Energy Action Month, and so we have Christina O'Keefe from MORPC here. She's the Director of Energy and Air Quality. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Is that on?
Test. Good morning.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll speak up. So I just wanted to say thank you to all of you commissioners for your leadership on energy. You do so much when it comes to the energy work here in the county. As many of you know, MORPC is a voluntary association of local governments. We have more than 60 local governments that are part of our organization, and we focus on transportation, public policy, and sustainability. And it's through those lenses that we focus on energy. In our regional plans, we have a top goal to reduce the energy consumption on a per capita basis. And that's important because we have a higher energy usage than the rest of the state and the typical American. And so we're doing a couple things to better understand why that is. First off, we're a technical provider of residential services. We've been doing that for more than 30 years and have served 15,000 customers within Franklin County. This is where we go into households to conduct energy audits, add insulation, repair and replace furnaces, add more efficient lighting and appliances. And we also do those important health and safety checks in case there's gas leaks. We are also working with gas and electric utilities to develop a local government partnership program. So the idea there is that we can help our local governments lead by example to further their sustainability and energy goals, but also to connect their businesses and residents to those important resources. And a wonderful example of that is your Energy Works program. You guys are doing a lot in that program. It's a wonderful loan program that can connect the commercial and industrial sectors to financing that can help do those retrofits and save energy. And so we want to help you further those goals, and I really want to applaud you for your leadership to conduct the first ever energy baseline study. We're just getting that started, and we're really thrilled about what that could mean for your long-term planning when it comes to reducing your energy usage within the county. So thank you for your leadership.
And this will help everybody in our county and hopefully be an example, if not extended to the rest of the region as we get into the project even more.
Absolutely. We're talking to a variety of partners, including the gas and electric utilities, and they are very interested. So,
Christina, you said we know that we're higher energy users than anyone else. How do we know that?
We've analyzed the Energy Information Administration data through a report that MORPC did a couple years ago through the Regional Energy Action Plan, and that looked at transportation, industry, commercial, and residential sectors. And across the board, we unfortunately, on a per capita basis, have a higher energy usage.
So for homeowners or anybody in the county, what would you suggest they do? Because you've got an audience.
Absolutely. So if income eligible households live in Franklin County, they should contact MORPC. They can go to our website, morpc.org. Anybody who might be outside of that population, we encourage to contact their utility because they have free resources or discounted resources to conduct those important energy audits that will identify what measures should be done in the home. And they can provide discounts and grants and subsidies to help reduce the installation of those measures.
But they also don't have to wait for that, correct? They can, you know, if you're thinking about replacing your windows, putting a little insulation in, changing out your roof shingles, get it done. You know, that really does save on your energy bill. And we've led by example with our 68306. Resolution to be both sustainable and an economic development leader, and this is just one more portion of that policy effort.
Yeah, very good, important point. I was talking about energy efficiency,
Mhm.
but conservation is equally important. So
Absolutely.
the
Well,
behavior side of reducing
What
our
we
energy.
found in the county, when we do our retrofits and when we've done new buildings, and doing them in a greener way, we do save on maintenance costs, we do save money on things that we've done to build them in a greener way. So it may cost a little more upfront, not a lot more, but a little more, but you save money in maintaining the facilities, and the costs for heat, the costs on air are much less. So I think it's important for people to understand that when you do things to save energy, you're really saving money as well.
Just like our namesake Ben Franklin said, and he was our first environmentalist, one of our patriots, said a penny saved is a penny earned, and that's true.
Yeah, many people in the energy industry say the cheapest kilowatt is the one you don't use. So
Exactly.
follow
Yeah.
that
That's
motto.
right.
Well, thank you for
Absolutely.
what you're doing at Morpsey.
Christina, we want to come up and give you this
Perfect.
resolution and have
We
fun
should,
and take a look.
we should thank Jim Schimmer and his shop too, as well as Jim Goodnow. They've been helping with this for years. Thank you.
And I have one more colleague, Brandy
Yeah.
Whetstone, who I work with. who I-
Come on up, Brandy. Thank you.
All right, I need a motion for the approval of the minutes of the September 20th, 2016 meeting.
Move for that approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
The minutes have been approved.
All right, the prosecuting attorney.
Resolution number 751-16, resolution authorizing contract extensions for title search services in the amount of $300,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Nick Soulis on behalf of the prosecuting attorney. This resolution before you, 751-16, is seeking authorization to renew and extend the contracts for our title search services through the end of January 2017. We are currently in the process and working with purchasing to rebid those for the future years.
Great.
Move for passage of resolution 751-16.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 751-16 has been adopted.
Sheriff.
Resolution number 752-16, resolution authorizing a transfer of appropriations in the DUI Enforcement Fund for the OVI Task Force.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dave Masterson, Director of Administrative Services for Sheriff Scott. This resolution authorizes the transfer of appropriations within the DUI Enforcement Fund to allow us to conduct several more sobriety checkpoints and saturation patrols prior to the end of the year. Pending any questions, I ask approval of this resolution.
Dave, these will be done all over the county?
Correct. Yes, the saturation patrols, they target those certain areas that seem to be higher risk, so to speak, and then I'm not sure where the sobriety checkpoints will be, but I believe they have a couple coming up around Halloween and then this Thanksgiving holiday.
Well, do we usually announce where they are?
Several days before, yes,
Yeah.
they announce where the sobriety checkpoints will be. It's required by the grant and the law.
Yeah, I hope these continue. When my son was in high school, I was a new commissioner, and I took him and his friends out to one, and it was life-changing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Eye-opening, some of the things that pop up in those,
Oh, yeah.
those areas.
Yeah. Move for passage of resolution 752-16.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 752-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Ted. The coroner.
Resolution number 753-16, resolution authorizing a transfer of general fund appropriations for the purchase of medical supplies, services, and equipment.
Good morning, Commissioners. Matthew Cottle, Franklin County Coroner's Office, on behalf of Dr. Ortiz. During 2016, the Coroner's Office has continued to experience an increase in our caseload. We're up about 45% over the last 3 years. So we are respectfully requesting a supplemental appropriation of $83,063 from the general fund to be transferred for services and materials. The funds will cover things like our body transportation services, medical supplies, professional consulting services, neuropathologists at Nationwide Children's Hospital, as well as some emergency repairs and safety equipment that were necessary for our operation. So again, we would ask respectfully for the appropriation.
Move for passage of Resolution 753-16.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 753-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Domestic Relations.
Resolution number 754-16, resolution authorizing a contract with HM Company for the purchase of washer and dryer machines for the Franklin County Juvenile Detention Facility in the amount of $29,660.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Barb Reeves, Deputy Director. Competitive sealed bids were received by the Purchasing Department for the replacement of the washer and dryer for our Juvenile Detention Center. 12 companies received the bid notification. However, only one company submitted a bid. Pending any questions, the court requests the approval of this resolution.
And Barb, how old did you say the other?
The
Dryer.
washers and dryers were over 15 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we have any idea why we only received one bid? This purchasing.
I do not know why we only received one bid. I don't.
We just like to see more competition.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so we'll check in on that one later. All right. Move for passage of Resolution 754-16.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 754-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Board of Elections.
Resolution number 755-16, resolution authorizing supplemental appropriations to cover election-related expenses.
Good morning.
Morning, Commissioners. It's good to be with you in my new role as Director of the Board of Elections. I know we're about 3 weeks away from November 8th, but voting is actually taking place right now as the early vote center is open during the weekdays. Then next week will be open each weekday, and then we'll have weekend hours, extended hours. So again, right now, just about every day is election day.
Yeah.
Ed, what are those hours?
Right now, we are 8 to 5 every weekday, and then we'll expand to 8 to 7. Then we'll have weekend hours beginning the 29th and 30th of October, and then again, the 5th and 6th, we'll have weekend hours.
Great.
I was there yesterday about 4, and it was busy. It was a steady stream of people, and it was busy inside. And things were smooth, and voting was easy, and I would encourage anybody
Well,
to get up there during early voting.
yeah, we're at 1700 Morse Road,
Yeah.
and we have over 100 machines that are available. So even though we've had some peaks of heavy activity, we've still been able to keep those lines very short and make it a very quick and easy process for voters. We've had over 100, and in fact, we encourage people to get out and vote early because, number one, you never know when life gets in the way on election day and could prevent you from voting. And then the other part, too, is it actually helps us conduct things more smoothly at the polling locations when more voters take advantage of early vote and voting by absentee by mail and don't show up then at the polling locations and help things remain smooth at each of the polling locations on election day.
And that's good advice. I know we have an 80-something-year-old in our family, and she did order her absentee ballot. But if you forgot to do that, particularly if you're a senior, you have, it's a very accessible facility.
It is very accessible. In fact, I'm glad you mentioned that because I wanted to mention the fact that Board of Elections doesn't do this by ourselves. It takes, we've had tremendous support from other agencies in the county, our county prosecutor's office, our public facilities management division, who've been very helpful in installing new handicap accessible doorways. They've been in some of the security measures. We've worked with Sheriff Scott's office as well as the Franklin County Data Center on some of the cybersecurity issues and the integrity of our tabulation process. And so, again, it's been a team effort, and so I want to extend my thanks. And then on today's resolution, I'd like to extend my appreciation to your finance staff. They've been very helpful. The resolution that you have before you is for a supplemental appropriation. This supplemental appropriation is necessary for both the personnel as well as the materials and supply cost in putting on this election. As you, the commissioners, know, we've had some additional elections that weren't anticipated. Columbus's special election in August, as well as Upper Arlington's special election, and then we had a smaller one in Minerva Park. But these additional elections have really required us to keep a lot of the seasonal staff that typically would take the summer off. They've been with us through much of the year, and a lot of those expenses encompass why we're needing this additional supplemental appropriation.
Usually those get covered by the jurisdiction.
Exactly. I was just going to get to that. And it's we are allowed to charge back those costs to the jurisdiction. And so what I'm pleased to inform the commissioners is that although we're asking for a $1.2 million plus supplemental appropriation, the Board of Elections is bringing in additional revenue to about $1.7 million. And so we appreciate the support of the finance staff and recognizing that we're actually a net plus as it comes to this resolution.
So will that money come back to the general fund then later? Okay,
it does.
Very good.
So Ed, absentee ballot question. My daughter's away at school. She and some of her girlfriends were texting and Facebooking yesterday with me to show me pictures that they were voting by absentee ballot, and thankfully voting for me. I cooked them enough meals over the years. I sure hope they did. But it raised the question last year when she was away. We had the question, if you could let our folks, the viewers, know when you're voting absentee, what's the deadline? I mean, people think, well, as long as I get it in the mail by, and it's not always.
It needs to be received by our office by the day before. It needs to be postmarked the day before Election Day. It has to be received by our office by Election Day.
Yeah.
The only ones that are allowed additional time are those who are overseas or military.
Yeah, so you can't just stick it in the mail on Election Day.
Correct.
You need to be very careful about it, and you should, as Director Anthony told me last year, to be certain you should stick it in the mail by Wednesday, Thursday of the week before the election, just to make sure that your ballot's counted.
Exactly, and some of the postal services, how they process, sometimes that postmark doesn't get on it, and so you just want to make sure it gets back to us.
So Election Day is November 8th, so we need to make sure people get their absentee ballots done and to you before November 8th.
I thought it was November 35th. Just kidding. Sorry.
But actually about 145,000 voters have chosen to request an absentee ballot, and all of those are in the mail right now. And so,
right. And I appreciate the accessible features. My daughter's in a wheelchair, and when she went to vote, it was much easier. And the signage, thank you, PFM, for getting that great sign that's now out there. It is very visible, and it was really nice to see yesterday.
And I don't want to forget the purchasing department either. They're the print shop within the purchasing department has been going pretty much nonstop for us to get the ballots done and all the other print requirements that the Board of Election has.
Yeah.
Ed, you also made a great point earlier. You never know when life gets in the way. I've been voting for a long time now. I've missed one election, and you never intend to ever miss an election, but I decided I was going to, for whatever reason, we usually vote in the morning, but I decided I was going to vote after work that time, and then you have a child has to rush off to the emergency room, and you don't get there, and so I have that blemish on my record where I missed an election. So if you think you might be out of town, if,
You never
business,
know.
you never
And
know,
you
work,
just
work
never
gets
know.
hectic, you don't think you can leave the office, whatever it is.
Exactly.
The great option is to go up to 1700 Morse Road, sometime between now and then, and just get it done.
Exactly. And so we encourage that, and then we look forward to, we want to be busy, so.
Yeah.
How's parking been so far?
Sorry?
Parking?
Parking's been fine. We, again, working with PFM and our staff at the Board of Elections
Yeah.
to really make a lot of spaces available, move our staff parking further away from the entrance to the voting location so that
Yes,
the
seems fun.
spaces close to the voting location are available for handicapped voters as well as for the voters, rest of the
Good.
voters.
Fine yesterday, yeah.
Well, thanks for working on the financing of everything and assuring that we have a smooth election.
Thank you.
Move for passage of Resolution 755-16.
Second,
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 755-16 has been adopted.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Commissioner.
Next, Franklin County Data Center.
Resolution number 756-16, resolution authorizing a transfer of general fund appropriation for the purchase of additional data storage.
Good morning, Julie Lusk with the Franklin County Data Center. This resolution will allow the data center to utilize unused personal service funding to expand our shared service storage solution. In the past year, the centralized solution, which provides Franklin County with real-time backup and recovery of documents and images on a data segregated, redundant, and secure network, has replaced agency standalone storage for organizations such as public health, the prosecuting attorney, and the public defender's office. This expansion will allow the data center to include agencies in the queue awaiting availability like COSIC, SWACO, and the Franklin County Auditor's Office, enabling retirement of their less efficient standalone devices. Pending any questions, we do request your approval of this resolution.
Move for passage of Resolution 756-16.
Second,
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 756-16 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Job and Family Services.
Resolution number 757-16, resolution approving a subaward agreement with the Ohio Association of Food Banks for the management of the Works Experience Program for the Food Assistance Employment and Training Program in the amount of $538,450.
Good morning, Commissioners. Lance Porter, representing Job and Family Services. All able-bodied adults that do not have dependent children that receive food stamps they're required to enroll in the Food Assistance Employment Training Program. In order to remain eligible for the benefits, they receive some form of education or employment training through this. The Ohio Association of Food Banks manages this program for us by conducting individual assessments, placing them in appropriate work activities, and then tracking and reporting the participation back to the agency. Pending any questions, I'd ask for the approval of this resolution.
Move for passage of Resolution 757-16.
Second,
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 757-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 758-16, resolution approving a subaward agreement with Discovery U Consulting, LLC for project management services to assist in the implementation of the Comprehensive Case Management and Employment Program in the amount of $83,250.
Commissioners, to help the agency implement and enroll this new program, Discovery U Consulting is going to develop a strategic plan along with help us with the implementation, workflow documentation, service coordination, and a communication strategy for internal and external customers. They are familiar with our customers, and they've been working with this agency for the past 2 years, having coordinated the placement, the billing, and the tracking for our summer youth employment program and the summer camps. Pending any questions, I'd ask for the approval of this resolution.
Move for passage of Resolution 758-16.
I'll second,
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 758-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lance. Public Facilities Management.
Resolution number 759-16, resolution authorizing non-general fund supplemental appropriations for the Hall of Justice and Sheriff Training Academy funds.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Goodnow, representing Public Facilities Management. This morning's resolution will make available some previously approved cash for 2 non-general fund projects. allowing us to complete some miscellaneous tasks in our renovation of the Judicial Services Building and the Sheriff's Training Academy. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this action.
Move for passage of Resolution 75916.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 759-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Jim, Human Resources.
Resolution number 760-16, resolution approving personnel actions.
Good morning, Commissioners. For your consideration today, we have two personnel actions, or three actually, two resignations and one retirement. Pending questions, we request approval of this.
Move for passage of Resolution number 76016.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 760-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Purchasing Department.
Resolution number 761-16, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $950,287.43.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Balania representing Purchasing. The resolution before you requests your approval of 101 purchase orders. These purchase orders have been pre-certified as to the availability of funds by the county auditor. Pending any questions, we recommend their approval.
Move for passage of Resolution 76116.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 761-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Megan. The Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 762-16, resolution authorizing choices for victims of domestic violence incorporated to receive the fees collected in 2017 for the support of shelters for victims of domestic violence.
Good morning, Commissioners. Lagreta Holloway, representing Board of Commissioners. What we have, the resolution we have before you today is choices, our choices application that we renew once a year. We expect for our 2017 collection to be about $315,000, which is $5,000 more than last year. And we look forward to another successful year. Yeah. We also have today with us Susan Villano from Choices Organization here, if you would like for her to speak.
Good morning, Sue.
Good morning. Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you so much for designating Choices to receive these funds. It is deeply appreciated, as is your ongoing support of Choices. You are bringing domestic violence awareness to the forefront in this community. Really everything you're doing to help and support the victims in this community who are struggling to overcome this issue. Thank you for your support. This resolution will go, the funds from this resolution will go to support our shelter, which, as you know, last year served over 700 victims, and our hotline, which received almost 5,000 calls last year. So thank you again for your support.
We thank you for stepping up and doing the work for Choices that you do. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, and we appreciate on behalf of all of the women and children and men that do use your services. We just need more of them. Thank you. More of the services. Make that clear. Move for passage of Resolution 76216.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 762-16 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks, Sue.
Lagreta, and thanks, Sue.
Resolution number 763-16, resolution reappointing John E. Bickley, Marie T. Crawford, and Renee Stein to the Franklin County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Good morning, Commissioners. Eric Janis, Deputy Administrator. All three of these board members are members in good standing and are recommended for reapproval, reappointment, so pending any questions, would recommend approval of the resolution.
I know all three, and they've served really well and represent the community well. Move for passage of Resolution 76316.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 763-16 has been adopted. Resolution number 764-16, resolution appointing Karen Jefferson Morrison to the Community Shelter Board of Trustees.
Karen Morrison, as you all know, Commissioners, is an executive at Ohio Health, and pending any questions, would recommend appointment of her to the Shelter Board.
Well, and she's much more. She's an
She
extraordinary
is.
community volunteer, a lawyer, foundation, started out the foundation there.
Mhm.
So happy to move for passage of Resolution 76416.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Brooks,
Aye.
Commissioner Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Aye.
Resolution number 764-16 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank
Antoine, are
you.
there any journalizations today? All right, well then that brings our meeting to a close. We'll see everybody next week.